Hello, everybody. Guten Erev Shabbos. Ephraim Schwartz calling you here from Eretz Yisrael, from my office. Your new, let's see if you can see me even, the new skinny Ephraim Schwartz. Well, not really skinny, but definitely, Baruch Hashem, doing well. It's the first Yom Tov in my life this past Sukkot. I think I got to eat everything that I really wanted to. Little bits of everything that I really wanted to. But just a little bit. And rugelach and meat and brisket, Schwartz meals, we have everything that we want by the meals. And especially when my family and my sisters are here. But I actually lost about 6-7 pounds just over Yom Tov as well, making it, I'm down probably close to about 40 pounds with this amazing surgery that we did. That's been truly life-changing. Funny story. I had my tefillin checked the other day, and he calls me up the sofa and he tells me that everything's kosher, Baruch Hashem. There's one word where there's a little bit rubbed out, and he's just gonna fix it up for me. I said, "What's the word?" The word is yochal. Eat le'yochal chametz, and I said, "Oh, there you go." Well, see, I guess even my tefillin senses that I'm not eating as much, and it's rubbing out a little bit, to remember my surgery as well. But anyways, that's pretty amazing. But that, of course, brings us to this week's parsha, Parshas NOACH. It's been a while since we've talked. And there's actually an interesting idea that I saw this week, and it really connects a few different things in the parsha. But the parsha tells us, right? Perhaps the introduction to NOACH in this week's parsha, where it says each tzaddik haya b'day reisav, right? He was a righteous person in his generation. The first Rashi and second Rashi's Yeshmer Abusenu Doshno Shvach. Some people go ahead and say that this is praiseworthy, that in his Kol Shekain, if he was in the door of tzaddikim that were more righteous, he would be considered righteous. And then it says V'yesher Darshim Oso Lignai. There are some that see negative in this statement that it was in his generation. Why? Because if he was in the generation of Avraham, he really wouldn't be anything. It was only in his generations that he was a tzaddik. Interesting diuk in Rashi, by the way. It says, Rashi says, Yesh me Rabbo Seinu. There are those of our rabbis that see in this statement a good thing about Noach. V'yesh darshim lignai. And there are those, it doesn't say me Rabbo Seinu, right? Our rabbis always look for the best in people. They always see the good in things, right? There are those people that will be dorish at lignai, that will go ahead and always find something negative to say about any statement that define that negativity. But by the tzaddikim, they only see the greatness in whatever that can be possible. The question is, of course, why are there those that are seeing the Gnai, and what's the Torah telling us? Why is Rashi even telling us? Rashi just bringing negative comments about people, right? Is there a point in Rashi, so to speak, bashmutzing Noach? There's great rabbis that said wonderful things about him, but other people, not so much, right? The truth of the matter is, our parsha, we have two other examples, perhaps, where we also find, similar type of ideas. First of all, when it talks about the animals that are coming into the teva. So it tells us over there that it says, Mina behema Torah, should bring the pure animals, Mina behema asher einena tahora, and then animals that are not pure, right, you should bring into the teva. And Rashi tells us, or Chazal at least tell us, is it Rashi as well? Pasuk Ches. Nope. There's Rashi, but Chazal go ahead and tell us that we learn over here that a person should always speak in a language that is, proper, that's appropriate, right? In the words of Chazal, don't say something negative from your mouth, right? The Torah went ahead and said 8 extra letters, and it didn't say anything negative, because it says, Mina behema tahora, Mina behema asher einena Torah. Right? And Rashi explains that this is Asher Einena Torah, it's 3 extra words. You should have just said that from the tahar animals and from the tamei animals. But the Torah has to go ahead and say Einena Torah and not pure, right? To go ahead and to teach you that lesson. And so there again, we see this concept, at least in the way we talk, a person shouldn't say something negative, which is interesting because in the beginning of the Rashi, the first Rashi, he does say something negative about it. The truth of the matter is we also find not only about speaking negatively or writing negatively, but even in the end of the parsha, we find by Shem and Cham and Yafes, right, that it says when they saw Noach drunk on the floor, it says, Vayelchu acharanis, they walked backwards, upneim acharanis, and their faces were facing backwards, Ve'ervas avim, and the nakedness of their father they did not see. So there's a concept, not just speaking about negativity things, but even the concept or the idea of not even seeing something negative. Now, the Lubavitch Rebbe has an incredible sikha, where he asks a simple question, which is a little bit of a diuk, which is that it says that they walked backwards, right? And that's fine, it makes sense, they walked backwards. And it says that they didn't see their father's nakedness. Well, if they walked backwards, then obviously they didn't see it. The Torah is telling us that was the reason why they did it. So what's the extra words of that they didn't see it? So he brings down, of course, the famous story of Schwartz-Wolf. Now, the Rebbe doesn't bring the story of Schwartz-Wolf, but we all know the story of Shlomo Carlebach with Schwartz-Wolf, the holy Schwartz-Wolf, who was a story of one of the great Rebbes, that he went to this person's house, that the Rebbe sent him there to go ahead and get a bracha from this individual, and this person was cursed, and he was terrible, and he was rude, and he was uncouth, and he threw him outside. And the whole Shabbos, he's crying about, this is the person I have to go to for a bracha, and what a horrible person. But then he realizes the famous idea of the Baal Shem Tov, that when you see something bad in somebody else, right, that it's not him that's ugly, as Rav Carlebach says, right? It's not him that's disgusting, it's you. It's a reflection of you. Hashem doesn't show somebody something negative, something horrible, unless it's something that's meant to be seen in myself. When I see that negativity in myself, then the Rebbe understands that, and he starts crying. Well, if I see him disgusted, if I see him rude, then it must be myself, and it's like a mirror. And he does tshuva, till at the end he realizes this person is a lamed vav tzaddik. So that's the idea of the Baal Shem Tov, is that when you see something bad, you see something negative, you're seeing it in yourself. And the Rebbe, why? The idea, of course, that is because Hashem doesn't just show people shmutzige things. Hashem is not interested in you seeing dirty things. He doesn't want you to see bad things in other people. So if Hashem is going out of his way to show you bad things in somebody else, then that must be because it's a lesson for me. That's the idea of the Baal Shem Tov. The Rebbe asks the questions, who says? Mehecha teisi, as we say in yeshiva. Why would this be true? Meaning, one can argue that perhaps the reason why Hashem showed me this terrible thing is to bring the guy in to do tshuva, to give him musar, to be hoicheach. Let's say you see somebody in the back of shul talking during davening, right? So does that mean that I have to worry about myself? According to the Baal Shem Tov, it would mean I have to worry about myself. Am I talking in my davening? Is it really up to par? The Rebbe says no. Maybe he's showing it to you because you're the guy that could save him. You're the guy that could give him musar. You're the guy that can be mochiach him. So, and he says even more than that. The truth of the matter is, if Hashem is showing it to you, you have to do that. You're obligated to go ahead and give the guy musar, right? Because Hashem doesn't just use other Jews as tools to get to me, right? Hashem is using him because I'm the person that can go ahead and correct him. I can go ahead and fix him. So who says that it also serves as a mirror for myself? That's the Rebbe's question. And the Rebbe answers an incredible idea. What he suggests is that there are really two aspects of seeing somebody doing something bad. There is, throughout the Torah, we find that the Torah does use negative talk. For example, 100 times in the Torah, it says the word tameh. Tameh. Right? Throughout the Torah, it says the word tameh. So why over here it says einena Torah? So he says that there's a difference. He says when the Torah is telling you halacha lemaisa, a psak halacha, you have to be clear as day. This is tameh, this is tahar. This is kosher, this is not kosher. This is an avera, this is a mitzvah. This is bad, this is good. Right? The Torah doesn't pull punches. The Torah doesn't play political correctness when it comes to going ahead and telling us what we have to do. However, when the Torah is telling the stories in the Torah, so then the Torah will use a polite lashon, because there's no reason to tell over a story. There's nothing to be gained from a story by using something that's not nice. So therefore, when the Torah tells us tameh and tahar throughout the Torah, we know this is tameh, this is tahar. However, when we're talking about animals that are coming onto the teva, there it says, not tahar, right? Why use the word tameh if you don't have to use the word tameh, right? Because there's no halachic ramification. So he says similarly, he goes, when Hashem shows you somebody bad, shows you somebody doing something bad, hold cup here. This is an incredible thing. There's a halacha here. I have to fix the guy. Now, when I have to fix the guy, when I have to do musar, when I have to makarv him, when I have to inspire him, then I don't have to see bad about him. I just have to see that action as a bad action. He's talking during davening. Okay, so now I have to go ahead and fix him because I know that's an avera, and that's why Hashem is showing me, because I have to fix him. However, let's say I see something about him talking. I say, that's disgusting. He's disturbing the base marriage. He must be a horrible person. He must never understand what tefillah is. He's just, he's just an uneducated, and it's just so rude, and so he doesn't care about other people. And now I'm seeing bad about him. That's not halacha anymore. To see bad about him, that's not halacha. So why am I seeing that bad about him? You know why? Because it's me. Because I have to fix myself. That's why I'm getting this bad vibe about him in general. Whenever I see that bad vibe of him in general, that's for halacha for me, right? He says when the Torah tells us that NOACH was a tzaddik bidorosov in his righteous name, so on one hand, it's just a story. NOACH was a righteous man in his generation, yesh darsham l'shmach, right? That we should know that this is a story, But there are those people that want to find something that they can fix in this story, some type of halacha in this story. You know what the halacha is? That in the generations of Avraham, he wouldn't have been that great. Because why not? Why am I seeing something bad about this thing? Right? Because it means that Noach didn't really care so much about the people in his generation. He didn't pray for them like Avraham Avinu did. And I have to take that message for myself and worry and learn and care about other people in the generation. By the story of Shem and Yafes, similarly, it says Vayelchu acharanis, right? They went backwards, right? Because they understood that we have to fix our father. There's something that we have to do there. They didn't see anything negative in their father. They didn't see anything that bad about him. Nebuch, he was drunk and that's it. It's not his fault. They didn't feel, and because they didn't see that, because they had nothing to fix in that area, they were totally clean. Cham, on the other hand, he saw the arvas of him. He saw their father. Look how disgusting he is. Look how uncouth he is. It's not because Cham suffered from that same midah. He understood. He was somebody that was prone to alcoholism, to illicit relationships, to getting out of control for himself. He was chamimus. He was just not. Cham saw the erva. Cham saw the bad. Cham saw the negative part. The other two brothers didn't. They only saw the tzaddik. Right, this week's parsha that we start off the new world with is about looking how we look at people. Right, when we look at people, we should look at people that we have to go ahead and see the good in them, to encourage them, to inspire them, to raise them up, to only see, actions are bad, but not the people. And if we still see something negative, then like Schwartz Wolf, like the Baal Shem Tov, turn that as a mirror on ourselves. Hashem is showing it to us to get that feel, to understand that we need self-reflection. We have to improve ourselves. That's the way we enter the new world. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to my weekly emails. It's great to be back with you. My weekly email address is rabbischwartz@yahoo.com. You can also get this in WhatsApp. If you're not watching it on WhatsApp, by shooting me a WhatsApp or an email to rabbischwartz@yahoo.com. Have a fantastic Shabbos and a gesinte Winter.